Hey everyone, today I want to do a overview of this 3-pan set from, I guess it's Michelangelo or Michelangelo. It's a 3-pan individual set. And if we look at the different sizes, you have a 11-inch pan, a 9.5-inch pan, and an 8-inch pan. Overall, I think these pans are pretty decent for the $60 price point. And if you think about it, this is about $15, $20, and $25 starting from smallest to largest, right? And so that's a modest price for 3 individual non-stick pans. Now the pans have a nice fit and finish to them. They sit flat on my glass top ceramic stove over here. I haven't had really any issues with them. Now, if we take a little bit closer look at these pans, the outside of each pan is a hard anodized surface, which helps, to maintain the structural integrity of the pans. The inside is a nice, smooth, non-stick, what they call granite surface. The handle's a good size. It has a chrome finish, and it feels pretty solid in the hand. And on the underside of each pan is a slightly raised area with a logo for Michelangelo. Now, they do say on the back of the pan here that this is magnetized aluminum. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but they do say that it can be used on an induction surface. Now, aluminum itself is not magnetized, but got a magnet, and it sticks, okay? Whereas it doesn't stick here, okay? It falls off. So the logo is not magnetized. It will fall off, but I think all around here is magnetized. So it should work on an induction stove. I don't have an induction stove, so I can't really test it, but it is magnetized, so it should work, right? Now, as I said, the handles, this is the 9.5-inch pan here. The handles on all of them are good size. They have a good fit. One thing that you should be aware of, this is not solid metal. It is, I'm not sure if you can see or if it's in focus, but it's hollow inside, right? So most of the pans I've had previously have been solid metal, but this is, I guess, the trend now. Plus, it helps dissipate some of the heat that comes off of the pan. Okay? So overall, it's a pretty nice pan. One major question, right, that everyone has, it's supposed to be non-stick. Is it non-stick? So the other day I made spaghetti. I got out some vegetables. I chopped up the vegetables. Then I sauteed the vegetables in the pan. I cooked up some ground beef. Then I added tomato sauce, a little herbs, a little bit of wine, and then a little bit of wine for myself. And it came out pretty great. And all I had to do afterwards was to spray the pan down with warm water, and it came out pretty clean, right? So overall, I am pretty impressed with the non-stick of these pans. Now, one thing you should be aware of, these pans are pretty thin compared to other pans I've had, right? That doesn't mean they're good or bad necessarily. The bottom is slightly raised. There's a little raised area on the bottom. And what I've noticed is you do get pretty even heat distribution on the bottom of the pan, but because they are so thin, they do heat up pretty quick, right? And you do have to watch out. I have cooked hamburgers in this pan, right? I guess it was a 12-inch pan, okay? I didn't have any sticking. I cooked grilled cheese the other night in the pan. It worked pretty good. One thing, as I said, you do have to watch out. The pan is a little bit thin, so it heats up much more quickly, at least for me, much more quickly than thicker nonstick pans that I've had, right? So because it heats up so quickly, even on medium heat, you know, on an oven like this, it can get over 400, 500 degrees on medium heat. So it does heat up quickly. And I had to really watch my grilled cheese sandwiches for lunch that I had the other day to make sure that they didn't burn. Same thing with the thicker pan if you leave them on too long. But this one, because it heats up so quickly, you do have to sort of watch. So it's a little bit of a learning curve for me compared to some of the other pans that I have. Now I mostly use this on medium heat. I usually don't go up above medium heat. I certainly don't want to sear meat, turn it up to 8 or 9 and try to sear meat in these. And really Teflon is not, or not Teflon, but nonstick coatings aren't the best to try to sear or put a char on meat. For that, I have some cast iron, and I also have some stainless steel that I use, but to put a char. But I have cooked up a number of things. I like this pan. I think it's pretty good. Now, how are they going to hold up in the long term? I can't really say. They seem like pretty good pans, even though they're a little bit lighter weight. But it's a metal that has a coating on it, right? And every pan I've had over the last 30 years or whatever, that starting with Teflon, which is not too good, right? They wear down over time, right? So one thing I've learned is not to spend buku amounts of money on a nonstick pan, because they are going to wear out, right? Regardless of how much you spend, whether it's all clad or something else, right? They will slowly wear over time. But I've been cooking on these for about a month, and I haven't noticed any real wear. But 6 months, a year down the line, I can't say. But for $60, you get 3 pans, an 8-inch, 9.5 inch, and an 11-inch pan. Now, one thing to keep in mind, right? Most pans are 8-inch, 10-inch, and 12-inch pans. So this is 8-inch, then 9.5 and 11-inch pans. So I have some lids from some older pans that I have that don't necessarily fit on here, or they won't seal, right? For me, it's not a big issue. I will put an oversized lid on top of this to prevent spatter and those types of things. But, that's something to consider. I know Michelangelo does sell some pans that do have some, I think, glass top lids, but these don't come with lids. So if you do have lids and they don't fit, you could use them to prevent spatter. But I'm not cooking real long term in this, 15, 20 minutes. So I'm not really so worried. I can get a simmer in here and put a pan on top just to prevent any splatter, and the food doesn't dry out, right? So overall, I'm pretty pleased with this set of pans, right? I would give it a 4-star. I think overall it's a pretty good, modest price for 3 separate pans, $60, right? It is certainly non-stick, which is great. Again, I can't say for long term, but everything else has slid right off the pan, so I'm happy about that. My only, the handle is hollow, which I don't have a real problem with. The handle is sturdy. I mean, there's no wobble when it's connected to the pan here, okay? But the thinness of the pan, and even though you do get good heat distribution across the bottom of the pan, right? The thinness of the pan, and because it heats up so quickly, I do have to watch that it doesn't heat up so quick that it'll burn my food, right? And I think that's more of a learning curve because I've had thicker pots before, I had one from Avalon. I swear to God, that thing took 20 minutes to heat up to where I could cook on it, right? This certainly you don't have to wait that long, and thank goodness, because I don't want to wait 20 minutes to start cooking my food. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with this. I would recommend these. I would give it a 4-star. 3 pans for $60. You can't really go wrong, right? And so that's my review. If you have any questions, well, I guess you can write questions in Amazon for that. But overall, I'm pretty pleased. I would recommend them. Okay, thank you, and you have a good day. Bye-bye.